This is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is one other thing. And this is a bonus episode. And we are getting back to it. I'm excited because, boy, if you've stuck with us this far, I got to say thank you. But we're down to number 30 is where we left off on the top 100 games to play before you die. And that's a lot of games. And, boy, I'm still reeling from the last episode where GoldenEye fell. I'm not going to get over that.
Yeah, GoldenEye. Yeah, so we will have to, send out a letter writing campaign of some kind and say we got to get this higher in the list because it makes no sense.
It's, it's just really, I don't know what rating system they're using. But again, a shout out right away, though, to Two Beard Gaming for coming up with this list. It's been fantastic. I'm enjoying it. And
there's one good thing that really, in my opinion, there's many good things that came out of going through this list. But one of them is we need to make our own list. That's the good that's coming out of this, We need our own list.
And this has sparked a lot of good conversation. And, it's just honestly bringing up a lot of old games, too, that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. So it's a lot of fun. But before we jump into actually doing the list, again, we've got we left on 30, so we've only got 29 more to go through. But before we start, how do folks out there, our tutors, how does anybody contact us?
Please email us at tootcast.net with any of your questions, comments, concerns, and ideas. Please visit our website at tootcast.net. And please sign up for our Twitter feed at tootcast. There's a theme there. We definitely have a lot of tootcast going on there.
There's a lot of tooting.
It's a lot of tooting. It's a mouthful.
It really is. So without further ado, then, we're going to jump right into it. And, I'm aware of the series, but I've never played the game. And number 29 would be Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo.
Yes, and I believe that's like a side-scroller.
Oh, I know all about Mega Man.
Yeah.
I played the first two, I think, and I believe I definitely beat the first one. I don't know if I beat the second, but they're side-scrollers, you shoot. They have these nasty little blocks, though, that disappear, basically. So they're there, and you got to learn the pattern and time you're jumping. So
platforming.
It's a platforming shooter. It's painful.
So it's a shooter where I'd just rather you just shoot me.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's, honestly, if you are into it at all, go see a playthrough. Because people that are good at the games, I could see it being fun if you're good at it. I wouldn't be particularly good at it. But Mega Man X, apparently, for the SNES, the Super Nintendo.
All right.
It's something to look for, I guess. This is a funny one to me. Number 28, Super Star Wars: Return of the Jedi for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Any experience with this? You're the big Jedi.
I played a lot of Star Wars games, and I'm sure I didn't play the SNES version. I have played a game called Return of the Jedi, so I don't know how similar it is without seeing screenshots to the version I played. Do you remember how this game played? It's based on a movie, which was the first movie that I saw in the theater. It was my birthday. My birthday is in June 1984. I went and saw Return of the Jedi. I didn't see Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back in the theater at the time, but this one I did.
Okay, so had you seen the movies before?
Yeah, I saw the movies on rental VHS, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was really into Star Wars, Yeah, this is the first one I saw in the theater.
That's pretty awesome. I do know this being the third in a series of games, and the first one being Star Wars.
Yeah, I wonder what the second was called.
Exactly. The series there, the Super Star Wars, as it were, for the Super Nintendo. I have played that, and I think you referenced the renting video games.
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day.
It was our last top 100. Yeah, because that's what we did, rented video games.
That's how we rolled.
And you could rent entire systems too if you didn't have a Nintendo or a Sega Genesis.
That's crazy. Actually, I did that one weekend. I think I actually rented a Super Nintendo too. It might have been PlayStation. I don't remember. I want to say it was a Super Nintendo. My God.
I'm an old man because I'm saying those are the good old days when you could rent computer systems and gaming systems and games.
It was
fun. It was awesome.
Yep.
Go there, pick it out.
Yep.
Reserve it if they didn't have it.
Play for the weekend and then have to give it back. But either way, the first one in that Super Star Wars series was a really good game. I mean, I have to say, I could see why it's on this list. Obviously, it was based on the movie, and, it followed that to some degree. But I have to say, it was surprisingly good. I'll put it that way. So I could see how while I've never played it, I could see how the Return of the Jedi had, in fact, made it onto this list.
But what was the gameplay on this one?
Basically, you were and I'm talking about the first one. You're basically whatever character you are, Luke, Han, whomever, and you're left, right, kind of jump,
Oh, okay.
kind of.
Oh, it looks like a
rolling thunder kind of thing. I don't know
Yeah.
how I'd describe it. It's not really rolling thunder though. You had good freedom of movement,
yeah.
especially when you had the lightsaber and could do the spinny move that
Oh.
kind of slaughtered everything. It was pretty handy.
Yeah, so I missed this game. I think I played some games like it, but yeah, I did not play this one. And this was nothing like the game I played that was just called Return of the Jedi.
Okay, yeah, that was maybe the arcade
wasn't
game.
super.
I don't know. I played Return of
three.
the Jedi in the
It was
arcade.
old. Probably is older than this. 3 maps because
Yeah.
this definitely didn't come out in 1984. So the game I played
Were you
was
on
probably closer than
Were
1984.
you on the speeder things from the movie?
No,
Okay.
it was all in outer space. So you would do 3 maps of space battles, and the third space battle would end up being the partially built Death Star, and you would shoot lasers straight up. I don't know until you get to the center, and then you win the game as TIE fighters are trying to kill you.
Okay.
But the TIE fighters are literally going left to right on the screen. It was that old. It was, and I loved it.
Okay. I've not for nothing talking about old Star Wars game. I remember
Yeah.
this old Star Wars arcade game that was all like those line vector kind of graphics.
Oh yeah, those are
And,
good games.
you would fly in and destroy the Death Star. Freaking awesome.
Yeah, so my nerd cred is that this game that I play called Return of the Jedi, which I don't know if it was on any other platform, but this particular platform was on the Atari 600XL PC system, which had a full keyboard operating system with a cartridge in the back, and Return of the Jedi was one of the cartridges it took. So
And you had this?
yeah,
Nice.
so basically it was out the same era as the Commodore 64, so it probably had 64K of RAM, so it's not. In fact, that's probably why I think the 600XL met 60K, so it really wasn't that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically load very archaic games back then, which I loved every minute of them.
Oh, I bet. Actually, it's funny. I rocked the hell out of the Atari 2600. There's no
Yeah.
question about that. But then ColecoVision was my next game system, which was the ColecoVision, and I loved it. Like it was some kid at that age said, "Oh, if you love it so much, why don't you marry it?" So I did.
Yes, you did.
And that's basically what happened.
That's awesome.
I mean, I loved that system, and I had this adapter that let me play 2600 games on that thing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I could play both, and I mean, talk about in your glory. And I had, boy, the nostalgia of all this. I had the turbo steering wheel for the game Turbo and the gas pedal.
Oh,
And
wow.
all like 2 or 3 screens that
So
you
you're
could
a cool kid.
eventually yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly, yeah. I was picking up chicks in that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you wouldn't believe.
Come on.
But I
the
don't
top down.
know how many miles I racked up in that thing,
Yeah.
but we'll just say it's a lot.
That is awesome.
But yeah, anywho.
I got nothing for this one. Do
I
you?
actually do, yeah. Number 27 is Bust a Move 2. It's an arcade game, actually, and it is, it's... You bust a move. No, it is basically puzzle kind of game. I would say it's kind of in the Tetris vein, actually, but the gimmick is you shoot these colored balls, basically, and you try to match 3. It's a match 3 game.
Okay, and they all blow, and all the ones connected to it would blow up.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But instead of shooting, instead of the stuff falling down and you having to stack it appropriately, you're basically shooting this kind of catapult thing. And
Yes.
you're getting them stuck to the top of the screen that way.
I think I played remakes of this game.
There's a zillion different variants of
Yeah.
it, but it's good fun.
Yeah. So no, that would definitely be a game I used to play.
Oh, well, I'll give something like that a try so I can whoop your ass.
Nice. No.
I have actually played this game. Number 26 is Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. You've not, because you said before no Metroid?
No Metroid and no SNES.
Definitely, I think I said it before when we spoke of Metroid. Metroid games are, they are what they are. They're kind of like a futuristic Castlevania in that sense, that kind of movement. But they have other movements. You can turn into a ball and roll around. You can do these bombs and do bomb jumping, which is a whole thing. But they're good games. They definitely are. And this was no exception. This definitely brought in some new stuff, and I really enjoyed that game, actually, I have to say. And for its time, it was just, AAA. It was top of the food chain.
That's awesome.
So again, I think, as weird as it is, I think if I had to recommend one Metroid game, I think I would actually recommend the first. And that's really weird, but
is that the one where they reveal the ending, the being the female? I forget which version.
That's the end of the first one, but
Okay.
it's you got to beat it twice in order to do that.
Okay.
And you got to do it within time. There's all sorts of.
Oh,
I don't even remember what it is. I know I did it.
That's what I have problems with games that are designed exclusively just to frustrate me.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one of those though too, where it's not like Ghosts and Goblins, where you know the game Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fantastic game. Too.
Yeah. Scrolling left to right,
Have you
jump
ever
over
beaten that game?
gravestones. Have I done it twice? That's a good question.
That's the thing.
I don't know if I have.
Have to, because the first time you beat Satan at the end of it, because that's who it is, he basically just says "ah ha ha" and sends you back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you have to go all the way through, and then it's really tough because that game is really mean because you have to get a very specific weapon to kill him with, and if you miss it, well, I guess you get to go through again.
Oh.
I mean, it's
was
just,
it the flame one or the one that
you have to
arcs?
get a cross. Actually.
Oh, cross. Okay.
But it only appeared on this one level. They did make it fairly easy to get, but be that as it may,
Yeah.
that was a mean game to beat.
I definitely used to play that game.
So Metroid's not like that in the sense that you do not need to beat it twice in order to get that. I mean, you need to beat it twice to get the I'm a Girl ending. Pretty certain you do. It's been a long time,
Yeah.
but I believe there are other criteria involved too. But you don't need to do that at all. You get an ending when you beat it.
Oh, okay.
You know, so yeah.
All right, Super Metroid. Number
Yeah.
25.
25. The Witcher 3 now. I've got very limited experience with it, but you've beaten it, correct?
I beat it and then started over and beat it again.
That's awesome.
And there's probably like 5 games I've done that with, and Witcher was one of them because I played them pretty close succession to each other. Because when I saw Witcher 3 coming out, I saw Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 were on sale.
Nice.
So I played Witcher 1, which I'm the opposite of you. I want to find a way to make a controller work in the game. I'm not a keyboard and mouse person unless I'm playing certain games.
It was horrible with the keyboard and mouse because that is how I played through Witcher 1. I made it work.
Yeah, there's mods, so I use the controller to play it.
Nice.
I demanded it.
It would have been much better.
And yeah, Witcher. So it's Witcher 3 is such a different game compared to Witcher 1 and 2. It's almost mean to say they're from the same company. There's such a huge difference in quality, size of a game.
Witcher 1 had boobs, and a lot of them.
What's that?
Witcher 1 had boobs.
Oh, it did
and
have
a lot
boobs.
of them.
Yeah, it did have a lot of boobs.
I'm putting that in the pro column.
It was Polish like lore that made it different. That made the fantasy seem a lot different than normal fantasy, like Skyrim. Seemed
It does.
a little more.
It has its own feel, yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's more like witches in here, and the lore is just different. Has a different feel to it when you're playing it. So I can't recommend Witcher 3 enough. Yes, it does help to play Witcher 1 and 2 just for the story to get into Witcher 3. But Witcher 3 is its own game. You can play just Witcher 3 and enjoy it.
And so what would you rate it?
10.
Nice.
10.
Without even thinking. I love
Without
that.
even 10. The reason why is because, one, CD Projekt Red loves gamers. They put out 2 DLCs afterward that was as big as other games.
Nice.
And the DLCs made the game even better. They were just great DLCs. There were interesting stories.
Yeah, Blood and Wine, I want to say. is
Blood and
one of them. I
Wine,
can't think of the other
yeah,
one right
Hearts
now.
of Stone, something like that. Yeah, it was the other one. It was great stories. I love them, and I love the character, and I love the multiple possible endings you can have. There's many different endings you can have based on what you do, because what you do in the story matters. And Witcher 3, I cannot say enough about it. You have to play it. You can't play it like a Nintendo Switch. I think they ported the Switch. It's just not going to have the same quality.
Yeah.
PC is the
Play it
best
on the
way to
PC.
go.
Yep.
You can mod it and change some things into the game. I didn't mod it the first time through. I usually don't on a newer game. And then I played it again with some mods and to make life a little easier. Like
Sure.
I could teleport or fast travel from wherever instead of going right to the signpost to do it. So it's things like that I changed.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful game. It was a great story.
I was going to say, that's
Great story.
I played it a little bit, and then I decided, okay, I'm me. I'm going back, and I'm playing the first one. So I beat the first one. But the second one is where I'm at now. I just have to go back to it. I kind of lost my way from it somehow or another. May have had something to do with Final Fantasy VII coming out, actually, the remake.
It's not as long. Witcher 2 is short compared to this game, so you should be able to get Witcher 3 pretty quickly.
I did play a little bit of Witcher 3. I played maybe, an hour or two into it, and, it was just stunning.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. I mean, the detail, it was just everywhere you look,
Well,
too. It was just a beautiful game.
Make sure you turn on their special feature, because NVIDIA and Witcher got together and introduced a special feature to games that are probably taken for granted now, but it's the silliest feature. But they advertise it. By the way, Geralt's hair, you can make it individually moving.
That's great.
So it's Hairworks, I think it's called. So you got to turn. It's not. I don't think it's on by default. When you turn it on, you can see his hair move all separately.
It's very important.
It's very important. You
It
can
helps
see his
with
hair.
the monster hunting.
Yes, you definitely. And I've also found it interesting. I like having the two swords. One is silver for monsters. One is regular steel for humans.
Well, that's that lore you're speaking of too.
Yeah.
I just like that concept.
Yes.
That okay, now we got monsters that we got werewolf types.
But I don't believe the books have it, and I think that's why the Witcher TV series he only has one sword, because they're basing the Witcher TV series closer to the books.
I see.
This is based on the books, and it has a lot of similarities, but the TV show is going to be closer to the books. Well,
All right. Well, we're on to number 24 then, right?
Yes. It's a Mega Drive game, which I played a lot of Genesis Mega Drive games, and I did not play Bart versus the Space Mutants.
This one was definitely on multiple systems because I did, and I presume a Mega Drive makes me think SNES. They were, Genesis versus Super Nintendo.
Yep.
So I am aware of this game. One you have to play before you die.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that's based on.
Yeah.
It was maybe an okay game. I'll give it. That's a maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And yeah, I can't rate it very high. I have no idea what that's based on.
So you say you played Bart versus the Space Mutants?
Yeah, I can't recommend it. I have no idea what it's based on, but yeah. So it's on the list. You know what I can say with absolute positivity?
I have an idea.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. What was that game you liked on the Nintendo 64 that you said that should not be so low on the list?
It's just not even in the same league as GoldenEye. Just have to throw that out there.
I think you might be right. You might be onto something.
Yeah, I have no idea how this list is working here. So number 23 just confirms.
No, for some people, I would say this is high on the list.
It might be.
I'm not that person, but
let's not leave him hanging.
Yeah, it's not leaving hanging. Number 23 is Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64. Apparently, this is not a normal Pokemon game.
For some reason, I don't know why I know this, I believe the concept was you ran around with a camera and you took pictures of Pokemon. I did not play it myself.
So that's not unique to them capturing Pokemons now with their
I don't think they were
cell phones.
capturing them, though. I think they were just taking a picture of them.
Okay. I've never played this, and it's definitely not as good as GoldenEye.
Absolutely. I've not either, and I'm willing to wager a lot on that one. Number 22, I'm interested in, if you've played this.
I have played it. I wouldn't say I beat it, but I have played it.
And that would be Earthworm Jim. And they like the Super Nintendo version better. This, too, was on Genesis and multiple systems.
Yeah, I've watched many videos where they compare Genesis and SNES. It's obvious going to happen, but they're going to compare them because they weren't identical engines. Some games looked better in the SNES. Some games look better in the Genesis. It just depended on the game.
Some games were complete different releases. There was a game called Shadowrun, which was... I'll be honest, I played the Genesis version, but very limited... very limited basis, so I didn't like it as much, but the Super Nintendo version, absolutely loved. It was a cyberpunk kind of thing, actually. You'd kind of dig it, but it was a weird RPG, cyberpunk theme kind of thing. But anyway, we're talking about Earthworm Jim.
Yes, back to Earthworm Jim. Yeah, so it's a platformer. You used to snap things in with your head and jump around and collect stuff.
It had cool graphics, especially for its time. It was kind of cartoony.
Yes.
And it felt like you were playing a cartoon. I too played it, and I definitely never beat it. I found it to be particularly hard, actually.
It's difficult. Yeah. So that's probably why I'm not sure I got more than a couple levels in.
I agree.
Ever.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah. Just, tough game. Next one I'm really curious about because I believe you've played and I have not, but it is on my list.
Yes.
As many games are.
Yes.
But number 21.
Ghostbusters, the video game. They say the PS3 version, but they definitely have ported this over the PC.
Yeah.
I have played it, I beat it, and it's worth playing if you like Ghostbusters, the movies. The original movies from the 80s.
I'm confused. I'm just stunned. I'm so confused. What do you mean if you like Ghostbusters, the movies?
That's true. Well, if you're alive in the 80s, you've seen the Ghostbusters. If you were not alive in the 80s, go watch the movies.
Yeah, if you have not seen Ghostbusters, just stop listening. Go right now. Go watch Ghostbusters.
Yes, it's classic. They don't make movies like that anymore. It's mostly practical effects, so it holds up pretty well. There's a couple hinky scenes that you can tell it's an 80s movie, but for the most part, it really holds up. It really does.
And well, the comedy holds. So
the comedy is hilarious.
Exactly, it's just so quotable.
Where do these stairs go?
Exactly, they go up.
Exactly. It's just a great movie. These guys were on the prime. They really, you can tell they enjoyed making the movies. This game, when it came out, basically they tried to make the Ghostbusters 3 made and never got made. They tried for years. It just couldn't. So they all got together, original voice actors, everyone went and they said, here's a script for Ghostbusters 3. Let's make it a video game. So this is Ghostbusters 3, the movie that you play.
That's fantastic, and it's worth the price of admission, you say?
It is worth the price of admission. It is fun. It's cool. I like the story. It definitely would have been a far superior movie to the recent Ghostbusters release.
Yeah, I blacked that out of my memory. So like there was just almost reboot there because I did watch it and
it was humorless and forced and it just hurt to watch.
It was. Yeah, It was everything I thought it would be.
The CGI was a mess. Yeah, I can't say enough bad things about that movie.
Yeah, it was everything I expected going into it. And that's a very bad thing.
The only person I liked in the movie was the one, the crazy girl.
Yeah, I agree.
The Egon one, the one that played the Egon one.
Great job, I agree.
She did a good job. Nobody else did, which is a shame because they're all talented. Just, I don't know, bad script, bad movie. It
didn't work, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work. Bad CGI.
Nothing was as bad as that Ocean 17 and a half or whichever one they recently did.
Oh,
Do you know?
I did not see that one.
Oh
I did not see that.
It was painful.
Yeah.
It was painfully bad.
Yeah, Hollywood needs to straighten up.
This is on my list, though, because of your
playing.
recommendation, buddy. Because, again, who wouldn't want Ghostbusters 3 with the original cast? I mean, count me in.
Yeah, it's like everybody came back, and they made this game. And it's fun because you're like, oh, I remember these people. It's like a glove. It's good. It's a good game. I do recommend it. And I could see myself, it's not a game I'm going to play like 100 times, but I could see myself, 5 years from now playing it again. Because it's like a movie. How many times do you need to watch the same movie again?
Exactly.
So...
Well, I don't want to brag or anything, but I did survive the coming of Gozer.
Oh! we all did.
We all did.
We all did. Great movie. Oh, even the Ghostbusters 2 I love.
Absolutely.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. We're the Ghostbusters and we're in control. Come on.
Look at you. You've nailed it. I like it. I'm impressed. They
just with you.
They're timeless. I've, under the heading of who would want to watch the same movie over and over, I've seen Ghostbusters numerous times.
Yeah. The first one I have seen a lot. The second one I haven't seen as much, but it is still a good movie.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some funny scenes where they paint a vehicle. It's just awesome.
So seriously, if you were listening to this and you're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
I've not seen either Ghostbusters 1 or 2. Just stop right now. Get your priorities in order.
Yes.
Go watch Ghostbusters and then come back.
Yeah, they're better than most modern movies. They're just fun to watch.
They're great.
And my nieces and nephews, they love watching the 80s movies like Goonies and stuff, and they do like them, and I think they would enjoy these. They get into them.
Ghostbusters, it just can't pass them up.
Number 20,
Virtua Racer for the arcade. Any experience with this one?
I have 0.
I apparently spent way more time in the arcades.
I didn't have many quarters back in the day.
Actually, I had an unfair advantage. My parents owned a pizzeria for some time, and we had an arcade as part of that pizzeria, so I did all right.
Yeah.
But Virtua Racing was it was that whole Virtua series, like Virtua Fighter was out around that time.
Oh, okay.
It was that weird kind of polygon graphics. They were kind of neat for the time. They always looked weird. They look weird now.
I can see that in the screenshot they have here. Very polygon.
Just a lot of polygons coming at you. And it was a racing game, and I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, there's no way a car with wheels shaped like that could go more than 5 miles per hour. But here they go, in this screenshot, 326 kilometers per hour. Yeah, no, that's going off-road.
With the hexagon wheels,
Yes, there's no way it's staying.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
They're going to catch on fire.
But I remember being, I do have a penchant for racing games, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And you could do, if I'm not mistaken, they'd have side-by-side things in the arcade, so you could actually race real people, and that's always a good fun time.
Yeah, that one I didn't play side by side, but I played other racing games side by side with those steering wheels and the pedals.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, I do like those.
And my eyes couldn't help but look, and I'm laughing at number 19 because it is a game that I know at least one of us have played, and I installed it. That's all I can say. And that would be Mass Effect 2. It's finally shown up at number 19.
Number 19. And this, I don't know. I think I might like it better than
GoldenEye?
GoldenEye. Yeah, I do like it.
I can't have an opinion. I haven't played it
yet. Great story. Great game. It's back when BioWare decided that between Mass Effect 2, what you did mattered. Mass Effect 3 did not, so they decided to throw that out the window, which made people very mad. But it's still worth playing. Mass Effect 3 it is a good game, but they ruined a couple things in the game. But it's still a good game. I still recommend it, especially since it wraps up the whole series. Mass Effect 2, though, it is in the top 10 list of a lot of people. Best games of all time. It's Final Fantasy level. The 7. It's.
I swear I've installed it. I'm getting there. I'm getting close.
Yeah, it's a well done game. The characters are great. They're interesting.
I'm going to be the FemShep, or
FemShep,
as you call it.
I'm going to play through all 3 again as FemShep because I've never done that. But all the characters, you have to do all the loyalty missions. You don't have to. You'll get the bad ending if you don't. But if you do, the loyalty missions each one are awesome. They're just fun. I can't say enough of this game. It's just fun.
When I do start, I will keep you posted on my progress, and
So I have multiple copies of this game. I have this on the Xbox 360.
What did you play it on originally?
It was Xbox 360 originally. I think it's over there. I do. Nice. I have it over there. So I play this on Xbox 360. I got several versions on PC. Because when they first put it on PC, you could only get it on the EA Origin downloader, which I hate with a passion.
Okay.
That was for the longest time. It was just recently they re-released it on Steam.
I do remember the downloader too. It was awful.
Yeah, it was a horrible downloader. So as soon as I paid full price for it on Origin, and when they released it on Steam, I bought it there too.
Yeah.
Because I never want to open Origin again if I can avoid it.
I hear you.
But I can't. But if you look at the download, I cannot stress enough. Make sure you have all the DLCs because that helps. The game is cool enough where you want to be in the world as much as possible and have all those DLCs in there.
Okay, yeah, I'll check. I'll check what because I don't know. I just clicked install.
I love the game, but it's very possible you didn't get the ones with the DLC because they don't always package the DLC with the game. But you can get the DLCs you can get all the DLCs together.
Yep.
But I don't know if they always package them together in the same purchase.
All right.
I think it might be a separate purchase.
I'll roll the dice. I doubt it's very expensive if I have to buy them outright.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's not worth buying all the DLCs for Mass Effect 1, but Mass Effect 3, some of the DLCs were pretty good there too.
All right. Well, number 18, I know we both have familiarity with, and I actually like this list because it made me laugh here. But that game is Skyrim. What it made me laugh is that it's just awesome on everything, is what they say. It doesn't matter what the system is. It is just something to behold, and I will give it to them. It is a very pretty game.
I'm actually, again, it's one of those games I have 50 copies of because I have the VR version because they sell you full price for every version. And I have multiple copies of it because they came out with regular Skyrim. Then it came out with the Skyrim Special Edition, which had a little bit better graphics. So I have both copies.
Of course, yeah.
I recently purchased this for my Nintendo Switch as well, not because it's everything revolutionary, but you can use the Switch controllers to swing your swords.
No, that's great.
So, and the bow and arrow too. So I'm like, I want to try it.
That's great.
So I'm going to try this on the Switch as well, and I guarantee you there's portions of this game I have not discovered yet.
Absolutely. Yeah, huge game. I mean, that barely touches it. It's gigantic. But what got me about the game, I mean, I don't think loved the game. Definitely loved the game. The story was fantastic. It really was. Everything about it's just well done. It's like finely manicured lawn. It's just perfect in every way. What struck me about the game, though, more than anything, was just the locales you went to. It was just gorgeous. I would find myself taking a lot of time to look around, and I don't mean like search for things. I mean literally to just stop and look around. Like, wow, this is astounding.
That's why you can't play the VR version because, I have this in VR and I do sightseeing more than playing.
Yeah, you never get anything done. Yeah.
Yeah, and they changed the menu of the VR version where you're in a cave with a giant waterfall. And when you look up, that's like 10 stories tall waterfall coming down.
Yeah.
So I'm in the menu for 10 minutes just looking up.
Yeah.
I haven't even started the game yet. Haven't even hit the load game yet. I'm like, this is an amazing room you're in. I'm in a cave and it's beautiful. So yeah, I have done that. Because you start up the game and you don't immediately hit start and get going. Because when you play the game normally, it's a black screen with the Skyrim logo and it has click here to start.
Yeah.
And no, the VR version is a whole beautiful screen, and you're like, oh, this is kind of nice down here. It's got foliage down below, and I'm like, this is kind of a nice screen.
I'm just going to hang out here for a little while.
I wish it was a real place on the map that you can get to.
Oh, that's great.
Because I'm like, this is awesome, and why didn't they do this in the regular game? I don't know. It's just better than their black screen you normally see when you launch it.
With this game specifically, I could definitely see why you never get anything done in VR. It was pretty just playing it regularly. I would give it rating wise. It was for me. I can't give it a 10. It wasn't there, but it was definitely a 9.5. I mean, it was that good. It's just a solid game.
I agree with you that it is a 9.5 game, but if you mod it like crazy, you can push it to 10 because everything you didn't like about the game you can fix.
Yeah, I believe that.
And post-production.
Yep, no, I believe it. Yep, and again, it's not that I didn't like it. To me, I couldn't help it. I was making Fallout parallels.
Yeah.
And I guess what it boils down to is if you give me the choice between, living in the fantasy world and swinging swords and shooting bow and arrows, or using a sniper rifle to blow off some, crazy Spartan's head from a faraway away. I know what I'm going to pick.
Yeah,
and it doesn't end well for the smart.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, so the Fallout games, especially the 3 and New Vegas and 4, really captured my imagination.
Yeah, they're just, it's sad in a way because while there's tragedy in both, universes, the Fallout universe is pretty grim.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Well, I think what can push this up to 10 for people is the fact that one of the most popular mods, it turns your swords into lightsabers in the game.
Nice.
And that is just awesome.
I bet. Yep. Exactly. But yeah, again, solid game. A lot of replayability. Not just because of the size of it either. Different classes, different ways you can play the game.
Yeah. And join different guilds
and whatnot. Have different careers. It's absolutely insane the level of detail. Because I mean, to me, this is just. And I presume it's the intent, but this is like Arena 15 or whatever they're up to. It's just the Arena series evolved.
Yeah.
And it truly is a masterpiece. I mean, it's just a work of art.
Well, I do recommend if you play this on any platform that can be modded, which is everything but Switch. I recommend if you're going to play through multiple times, that one of the first mods you put in is that skips the tutorial mission. Because that's tedious to go through the same thing. We're in the wagon, you go in the town, you make a character. So that's the first thing I put as a mod that says start me
that does
elsewhere.
Take forever too. Yeah, it's annoying.
It is annoying, but that's why multiple playthroughs. That's why I love modders because they says skip the tutorial. Yep. So you put that mod in there and you end up kind of like semi-equipped someplace else on the map. You're not worried about getting your head cut off or waiting fighting that dragon in the beginning. You're just in the game.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's what you have to do if you're going to replay the game.
Little quality of life features.
Yeah, that's why I love the mod scene. I love you guys.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, seriously, again, it just adds so much life. And I'd imagine it's like this show. They have fun doing it, and everybody enjoys the fruits of their labors in some way.
And I want to shout out to Nexus Mods because that's the first place you should always look for mods for any game.
Okay, they believe I have that installed on my computer, and probably largely because of you.
Yes.
So yeah, Skyrim, great addition. That makes sense to me. Boy, this is fascinating. When I say I know nothing about this game, I know nothing about Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem for the GameCube.
I've heard of it.
Have you?
Yes, I heard it's one of the few horror games on the GameCube.
Huh. Yeah, my brain's not processing that correctly.
That's not a common occurrence on the Nintendo series of horror games.
Nintendo and horror, it can't be that horror, can it?
Yeah, it's psychological horror, action-adventure.
And it looks kind of scary.
Yeah, they even say it somehow managed to make its way into the wholesome Nintendo GameCube.
Wow. I'm actually writing this down because it just the fact that a real horror game, got onto anything that says Nintendo fascinates me.
Yeah, basically, I don't think children should ever have played this game, but somehow, they missed it in the ratings and said, okay, let's make a scary game for the GameCube.
I
And they did.
have no idea how, but again, I think I have a GameCube. I gotta validate that.
I think I
actually
saw one
I
at
do.
your house.
Yeah. So
Weren't
I
they
will
like
be
a
looking.
squarish?
Yeah,
kind of-
it looks like a box. A box with a
Purple.
handle. Yeah, purple. Yeah, and the color scheme is like a jester's suitcase. Yeah. It just they couldn't use more colors than they did.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna have to look that up because again, I think I'm more. I kind of want to applaud them already.
Yeah, it's like
I don't even care what the game's like. You
Yeah.
got a horror game on a Nintendo
Yeah,
device. Like, way to go.
someone was asleep at the wheel when this was released.
Absolutely, yeah. It was, done late on a Friday. It was
Yeah,
just really
yeah.
expertly timed. I don't know how you pulled that off, but
Yeah, they probably just called it an RPG, but it wasn't.
I'm fascinated.
Yeah, psychological horror. Yeah, a lot of kid. And if you ever were a kid when this came out, you're probably messed up now because of this game.
Well, I'm gonna have to look it up to find out if it's better than Goldeneye.
This one might be better than GoldenEye.
I might agree with this actually.
Yeah, number 16.
What do we got?
WWF WrestleFest. This is an arcade version. I haven't specifically played the arcade version, but I celebrate the entire WWF catalog of video games. They're all fun.
I said I even include the WCW. But,
Oh, yes.
I mean, just the fact that if you're talking about WWF, you know that means you're old, right?
Yeah, because it's not WWF anymore, but that's always WWF to me.
Well, it's funny. For years, and to emphasize old, for years, my wife supports the WWF. And,
That's when it was real.
And well, I mean, we'll donate every year to World Wildlife Foundation,
Federation, I think it's
whatever they are.
one of them.
Hug a Panda today.
Yeah, Hug a Panda.
But every year I'd talk about how she was supporting starving wrestlers everywhere, and things of that nature because she's sending these checks out.
Don't say that with water in my mouth.
And then years later, it turns out that giant panda basically kicked Hulk Hogan's ass.
Yes, he did too.
So, but yes, this arcade game I did actually play quite a bit of in the arcade.
Of this one, yeah.
It was what I'll call a pure game, meaning it was simple to understand. You walked up to it the first time having never seen it before. You had only a couple buttons. You could jump,
Yep.
you could punch, possibly kick, and you had characters you knew.
Yep.
You had your Hulk Hogan, you had your Ultimate Warrior, you had your Big Boss Man.
I used to get their magazine.
Oh, that's great.
I loved wrestling so much as a kid.
And the way the game was played is pretty simple. You press the direction, you wail like hell on the buttons.
Button smash.
And yeah, you just wail on them to no end.
Yeah.
So that being said, I mean, we should figure out if we can find this somewhere on any system, simply because wrestling games in general are you wail on the buttons, beat the hell out of each
Yeah.
other. And that's what we'd like to do.
Yeah, they may have remade this one on the SNES or the NES, and you never know. You might be on the... I don't know. I didn't look really closely on the Switch
Exactly.
online options.
I
Maybe-
don't know what's available to us
Yeah.
for wrestling games, but it's something I'll have to look into.
Yeah. Okay. There could be a DOS version as well.
We'll add it to my
Yeah.
list here.
Yeah, check GOG games.
Number
okay.
15.
Yeah, we're getting pretty high up in the list for me to still not recognize every game I see.
I agree with that.
Yeah, this is Snatcher on Mega CD.
So that'd be the Genesis CD system there.
Yeah, which, as far as I know, there's more of a gimmick, and I didn't think there was any real good games for it.
I've never even heard of this game. I got nothing. It doesn't even look like a guessing.
Oh my god. This game was made by Hideo Kojima.
I have no idea who that is.
He just did the Death Stranding.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So look how far he's come. I mean, he
Yeah.
did the Metal Gear Solids.
So he's been around.
Yeah,
for a
he's been
while.
around. So
Earnest
this is
kid.
like his opus. So apparently this is a game that you should play, and I'm reading about it, and it seems like a game I would like.
So Snatcher for the Mega
They
CD.
They said, yeah, it's very Blade Runner-esque.
Oh, well, that is your cup of tea.
Yeah. I think I own every version of Blade Runner, and there's like 7 of them.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sensing a pattern anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, you like what you like.
I like Blade Runner. I just think the movie
Well,
was genius.
now we gotta. Should we find the means
Yeah, I
to
think
come
we
across the game
see
Snatcher?
if we can
We'll
find
have to check it out.
Snatcher. Yeah, because it does sound like along the veins of I've no mouth but I'm a scream, kind of like not the same playability but the same kind of feeling of dread.
what is that makes that fun? It's
Yeah, I know. It's fun to feel dread when you play a video
It
game.
kind of is, though.
And next game is Nintendo to get rid of all your feelings of dread.
Exactly. It's Super Mario Sunshine, GameCube.
Number 14. And I thought I've heard of every single Mario game.
I've heard of this.
It sounds very lighthearted that we call it the Super Mario Sunshine.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to have Super Mario Death Metal anytime soon, but...
that I would play.
Super
I would play
Mario
that.
Death Star. It's just it's not going to work. But I've not played this one, but I believe it's just another Mario-ish game. And let's face it, once again, those Nintendo characters just have some charm to them. Those pixels, you put them in that order, and it's just adorable. And, it's
cute.
got bright colors. Even on the GameCube, we're looking at a screenshot of it, and the graphics definitely do not compare to the Switch in that regard, but likewise, it's the same concept, though. It's like the same palette. Everything's very bright and festive and cheery.
And they're not afraid of the pastels.
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty much everything that the game before this wasn't. It's on the other end of the spectrum. So, but that being said, I'll put my name on Mario games. They're platformers. They're fun.
But is it better than GoldenEye?
Can't say. And that's tough, actually, believe it or not, stacking up Mario to GoldenEye, because, Mario's great for what he is. But me personally, I'll take GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye. The next one, number 13.
Oh, another one. And I've got two questions for you, because I know you played this. So we got number 13, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
KOTOR, as the kids call it.
KOTOR. Oh, yes, KOTOR.
Yes. In fact, I just watched a playthrough of this game. I played this game several times. I believe you can mod the game. Eventually, you have to mod the game. Otherwise, the resolution is so small you can't see it.
That's what I need you to help me with, actually, next time you're in my house.
You need to mod it to fill your entire screen and use 1080p graphics. But the game is Knights of the Republic. BioWare, during their heyday, they took Dungeons & Dragons rule set and applied it to Star Wars.
That's neat.
Turn-based fighting.
Yeah.
Was not real-time in any way. And yeah, it was slow pace, excellent characters. It's a little, dated now. Some of the mechanisms of it. Yeah, but what you like?
Not to me, yeah.
But some things are dated as far as just it's kind of clunky how the game is put together. But the stories and the side quests were amazing in this game. Yeah, it's because the side quests weren't. This is before the fetch quests of open world games. Each side quest was kind of interesting.
Nice.
So it was a blast because when you start the game, you're just a scoundrel, and then you don't become a Jedi till later in the game. And then when you get your first lightsaber, you're like, oh yeah.
I may have uninstalled it, but I did have it installed for a little while. But I ran into exactly that problem you were talking about, where it played and the window was so tiny, and I could not find a way to get that to change.
You have to mod it because not only do you have to change the resolution, the mod has to change where all the buttons are too, because they didn't map correctly to a wide screen.
Yeah, can't seem to hack it.
So you have to mod it to make it work on a modern computer. And I don't know what version you have, is it Steam or GOG, but I have a feeling that if there's a GOG version.
Yeah,
it might work better.
Yeah, you know why? Because it doesn't work.
Yeah, Steam doesn't take an effort to make old games work.
Nope.
They just post them, and it's up to you if it
makes
it work.
It's like we work for GOG, but seriously, I love them. I love your good old games because it just works.
Yeah, everything they put out. If they put an old, that's why if it's a game that's more than 5 years old, I will check GOG.
Actually, in all honesty, though, Steam is better for nostalgia, I guess, because I did spend a good portion of my childhood cursing at computers, thinking, why won't this game fucking work?
Yeah.
So suppose from that perspective, Steam's better for nostalgia.
It's like a good old days. Yeah. At least you don't have to run any kind of memory programs to get, use your conventional memory properly.
Crap now, and I didn't then. What XMS, EMS, leave me alone, just work.
Yeah. No.
So shout out once again to good old games. But
I bought a program called QEMM back in the day that I paid for to help manage my conventional memory and extended memory management.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're a nerd. It's awesome. Right there with you, brother. It's just. But here's the question, and this is the really good one. I'm going to tell you right now. I haven't played it. It's not better than GoldenEye, but is it better than Mass Effect 2?
No, it can't be. It can't be better than Mass Effect 2.
I didn't think it would be, but
it can't be. But I can see why it's higher on the list of games you should play before you die. I think if you're specifically saying games before you die, this would be higher than Mass Effect on that kind of list. Maybe that's why this list is in an order we don't agree with.
Yeah, the order, I do find the order questionable.
Yes.
Good list, though.
But I would say that Star Wars: The Old Republic is higher, and you have to play this before you die, than Mass Effect 2, but only barely.
Okay.
Only barely.
All right, that's a good endorsement.
It is a good game, and
in Star Wars universe,
Yeah.
it's just not something you know and love.
yeah. And when you meet a droid in the game that is a Sith droid who you recruit, and all he does is call you a meat bag, you're like, yeah, this game's all right. I love this game. I love it.
Yeah. I'll have to remember to have you help me.
It's
with
worth playing,
that.
and I don't think the game is terribly long.
Okay. I thought that was a big game for some reason.
Yeah, it's got worlds, but it seems big because I think the first world takes forever to get off of. But once you get stronger and more powerful, some levels are way shorter, like the Kashyyyk, which is the Wookiee homeworld, is a smaller level. It takes less time to get through some of the other worlds.
God damn, I wish you hadn't said Wookiee.
Chewbacca! What a Wookiee!
It's just going to be playing in my head the rest of the night.
Great song.
Just cannot even hear that. I can't hear anything like too close to it without my brain singing Chewbacca for like 5 hours. It's just like an opus. Because seriously, what a Wookiee.
What a Wookiee. Oh, God.
So number 12.
Yes. No, I've never heard of it, but I'm telling you, Dreamcast games were good.
It looks like my cup of tea. It's Power Stone for the Dreamcast. It looks kind of like a fighter.
I would say about 40% of games for the Dreamcast was fighting games. Another 40% were sport games, and the rest were everything else.
Huh. So it seems like a good two-player system then.
It is very good two-player
because
system.
What I'm seeing here, and it's just a screenshot, and I'm taking a lot of implications, but it looks like a fighting game with steps involved and objects you can interact with.
Yes.
So it looks like you could run up those steps and that girl with the purple pants could throw that flower pot at your head. So it looks fighting games are fun again, just to beat the hell out of your friend, but more fun when you can interact with the objects around you.
Yeah, that was a game system I actually gave to my little brother.
Wow.
And I had a very large library for that game.
Oh, very nice of you.
Yeah. If you listen to this, can I have it back?
Yeah, I'd like it back now.
Otherwise, I might actually hit eBay because I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube of people still working on their old Dreamcasts, and the games kind of hold up.
Nice.
Well,
I heard there's a game called Power Stone.
Power Stone.
It's pretty good.
Power Stone for Dreamcast. Virtual Fighter was one that's very popular on the system as well.
I like the Virtual Fighter games. Yeah, or entirely whoop your ass in Virtual Fighter. So yeah, I think you should get it.
Yeah, we should get it. You will.
Now this is interesting. I have actually some experience with this. I don't know if you do.
I have played every single Fallout game.
Okay, so this is
except for the Tactics. That's the only one I haven't played. Fallout Tactics.
Oh, look at that! I played I've played and beaten Fallout Tactics.
Yes, I have not, but I have played this, and I played it when it came out.
Well, number 11 is none other than Fallout, first one,
the very
for the
first
PC.
one, which is better than Fallout 2. So I think Fallout 1 should be on this list. It was a great game.
I'll say it this way. If somehow you're out there and you're listening,
yes,
and you're the person who played Fallout 1 or Fallout 2,
yes,
and then wrote off the Fallout series because it wasn't your bag, you gotta try 3.
Yeah.
3 or 4. You could just either one of them. Because it's the universe is the same. We're talking the after a war type scenario. Nuclear winter is presumed.
War never changes.
Exactly, and it's just the remnants of society struggling just to survive in what's post-apocalyptic kind of nuclear fallout kind of scenario. Fallout 1 and 2 though had this top-down isometric kind of view that, well, 3 and beyond, 3, New Vegas, and 4 are all first person.
Yeah.
And so the games played entirely different. This one I played, but I did not beat it because, as I recall, I found it exceptionally difficult.
It is difficult, I agree, and I think I only beat it. I didn't beat it back when it first came out either, but I've since beat it because you do. It's a lot of those games you need a guide. Well, so this is where you need to go. Once you know where to go, you can get the water purifier, and you can.
As I recall, it was one of those things where it was go get the water purifier. Problem is, every room you enter has about 300 items, and you can pick them all up.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what the water purifier is like.
Yeah, Yeah, looks like a Brita filter for all I know.
Yeah, so you're picking up everything, and you have no idea. So I remember very high difficulty curve, but I mean, it was that first time really where you're getting a good taste of that post-apocalyptic future in a way we hadn't seen before.
Yes.
You know, so it was legendary for its time. I don't know if you have to play before you die.
Well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Interplay is the company who produced the first two games.
Yeah.
Oh, and probably the Tactics as well. And
Tactics wasn't bad if that's your thing. I enjoyed it.
And I believe a lot of that was the big selling point of Outer Worlds is the original creators and writers of Fallout 1 and 2 worked on Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
So I think that's tried to inject the similar humor they had in these games.
Yeah.
So,
but would you put it on your? Now, don't get me wrong. 3 or 4.
Well,
I would say take your pick. They'd be
Yeah.
on my. You should play those before you
Yeah.
die. But Fallout 1 or 2, no.
It's an interesting game. There hasn't been really many games on this list like this specific game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you're going to pick a game of this type, this is a good pick because it is a weird game and it has some
different.
humor. It's different, turn-based fighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it definitely some people would love this game.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the game. No, good game. And again, for its time, definitely
Yeah.
something. I wouldn't put it on my list 100 before
No.
you die.
Uh-oh.
I would put this one on, though.
Yes, I can see that.
Number 10, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Super Nintendo.
That's kind of fun playing. Where's Link? Because he's Link.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And they had the gimmick where you could basically kind of teleport between the light and dark world. It was a big game for its time. Huge for its time. And it had some things that we hadn't really seen before, multi-level puzzles.
Oh.
Things like that, like you had to get the rock from third level, push it down to the first somehow or another,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
So you liked puzzles at one point.
No, I didn't like them. No, I liked the fighting. No, there were you got to do them. I
Yeah.
don't like the puzzles at all.
Yeah.
Didn't like them then. I don't like them now. No, you got to get through them to get to the fighting of the next monster. But it was basically the Super Nintendo version of Zelda 1, if you will. I mean, like it was the enhanced. I mean, there was so much more story. It was the same world though, and it took all that original lore, if you will, and it just ran with it on the Super Nintendo. So the graphics were better, the music was better, everything was just bigger and better. But I would leave this on this list. This is a great game. I highly recommend the Zelda games, and I'll recommend Zelda games sight unseen.
Yeah.
It's just they're good games.
Yeah.
And this is no exception though, and I have played it, and I did beat it. It took a long time for me. So this is funny, actually. Number 9.
Die Hard Trilogy on the Saturn, and I've never played any Saturn games.
I've definitely not played this on a Saturn, because I may be with you on that. I don't know if I played Saturn at all. But I am aware of Die Hard had an arcade game that I was particularly fond of. And it was weird isometric graphics. This looks like a shooter of some kind.
This is a light gun game.
Oh, okay, yep. I definitely have not played this then. So we know light gun games, though. Lethal Enforcers, that kind of thing, Duck Hunt. They're all the same. I mean, basically you stand there, things pop up, you shoot them.
Yeah. So it sounds like a basic game. I would say no, this doesn't deserve to be on this list.
Not this one. I would on 100 games to play before you died, I'd entirely put a shooter of some kind. I'd go House of the Dead myself.
House of the Dead. I think I used to play like Predator. I think that was one.
There's a gazillion of them. You know what? I might go old school and go like Operation Wolf.
Oh.
You each got an Uzi and you could shoot grenades. It was great fun.
I played that one.
Yeah,
I know that one.
Fantastic.
I know that one.
That might make it. But yeah, I don't know that one. Number 8, I know of.
Ditto, and I can't stress enough where I thought I would know more than half these games, and I don't.
I know, I'm amazed by that myself, actually. But thank God we might actually finish our list tonight. And that's a joke, guys. We are entirely finishing.
Oh, we're finishing it. It's 54 minutes in.
If we
got
never
8
sleep
left.
again, we're finishing this list.
My money is that we're going to at least recognize one more in this top 10 here.
Oh, that's great. Place your bets now, folks.
Place your bets now. Well, I recognize more than one.
So number 8 is Earthbound for the Super Nintendo. And to be honest, I don't know. I'm kind of shocked neither one of us have played this. Because it's got a huge cult following. It's an RPG. And, well, we've about exhausted my knowledge of the game.
Yeah, the caption here says it is flawless.
That's a pretty high rating.
Yeah.
And people love this. And
Yeah, Earthbound.
I don't think they're out yet, but I believe there are remakes of this being made. So
Oh,
apparently we're going to have to check out Earthbound.
Earthbound. All right.
Earthbound's
on my
what
list.
the hell, I'm writing it on my list too. I'm actually literally keeping a list these days, guys. That's not figurative.
Okay, so far not looking good that I'm going to recognize any of these games.
Number. No, this is where it's at. Woo. Okay,
What does that say?
I'd like to stop for a moment. I'm starting to think the problem here is this is an international list,
Yes.
and we are dumb Americans.
Or they're just trolling us.
That's not to say Americans are dumb. I'm just saying we specifically.
Yes, just us too.
Are dumb Americans.
We're dumb Americans.
So number 7 is the ever popular Kevin's favorite Taiko no Tatsujin. Did I fucking nail that?
Yeah, I think you
Or
may
what?
have. And
I actually know a little bit about this just to
apparently
make you
it's
blow your mind.
Guitar Hero.
I believe it's with a drum.
Oh,
And
so you say this big game can't be beat?
That is great. And that's basically it. Is Guitar Hero that can't be beat. Oh, that is
Yes.
it. But yeah, you just...
Good night, everyone.
Exactly. You Michael Jackson the hell out of it, and that's how you play the game. You just beat it.
Wow.
Thank
Thank God.
Yay, we know a game. Number 6, BioShock. And they want you to play it on the 360 for some reason.
And that was the first version I played. Was
Okay.
the 360 version of BioShock.
I'm going to guess that's... I wonder why that is, because I got to think the PC version is just better.
I don't know. No, it didn't come out with the PC at the same time. I think it was a console first.
Well, no, I'm just saying
Yeah.
I got to think the PC version is
Yeah.
better.
Oh yeah, I would say it's better. Plus, there's a remastered version now, which I don't. This is funny. I like the remastered version very much, except for the opening scene, because they, in my opinion, they over remastered the opening scene in the remastered version.
Oh, okay.
There's a beautiful scene when you first go into
when you're viewing the city and
you
whatnot.
view the city.
We did say
you
this
go into-
BioShock.
Yeah,
Good.
BioShock. Yeah, BioShock on the Xbox. So when you're first descending into Rapture,
Yep.
they have a beautiful scene where you see the neon lights.
Absolutely.
And they have the whale that go by the
And
screen.
it's awe-inspiring.
It's
and yeah.
awe-inspiring, and then it's diminished severely by the remastered version because they decided to add sludge on your window to kind of like age things more. And to me, I'm like, it looks better in the original.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
usually,
interesting.
I'm a big fan of remastered games that enhance it. And to me, throwing sludge on your window does not enhance the game.
Yeah, it's not...
It doesn't look as good.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like
Yeah.
some game I know where they added new material by making the levels dark.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Blizzard.
Ugh.
But
So
that's funny then. I played the original because I remember shortly after I beat the original, they released the enhanced version.
yeah, the remastered version. So I still recommend the remastered version over this because the graphics are dated, and the remastered version does look better. But I'd rather just see a playthrough, just compare them of the opening sequence in Descending to Rapture. They are not the same, and they did not approve it.
Okay.
They did not. They
Yeah,
ruined it.
I know the exact scene you're talking about, and I have to say, I would agree this game belongs on the list.
It's a great game. It's interesting. A great twist in the game. It's a twist they didn't have in the second game, and they had a different twist in the third game. I'm not saying it's a better twist. I would say the first BioShock is a better twist.
BioShock Infinity being the
BioShock Infinity is the third
I
one.
haven't played it yet.
It has its own. I think they try to replicate some of the original BioShock, and I'll say they were mostly successful. Still a fun game, and the twist is different, but it's still got a twist, which is I think what makes that BioShock game.
I didn't play BioShock 2. I did play it, but I gave up on it because I kind of got more of this feeling.
Yeah, it was made by a different company too.
And it just felt like BioShock 1, and
Yeah.
I wasn't getting enough bang for my buck, and it felt like that. It's exactly what I thought was more of this.
Yeah.
Like, I just did this. But again, BioShock 1, though, great story.
Yep.
And the dude that did the posable people and the
Yeah.
bunny thing, that was just fantastic.
They had horror elements in this game.
It was just a great bit. I mean, it was haunting.
Yeah, do you remember the scene where you're walking in an empty room, you start examining something, you turn around, person right in your face?
Yeah, exactly. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And just the dialogue there, too. I mean, it was downright creepy, and it was just like the ramblings of a madman.
Yep.
I guess it's similar to the show, but
Yeah.
it was great. It was truly something to behold. So I think it belongs here.
So if you liked or if you loved BioShock, you'll like a lot BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, I
Far superior to BioShock 2.
definitely have it already. I bought it either on sale or in a bundle, but I have the 3 of them.
I think the only thing that I really take BioShock Infinite down, it's a way more complex of a game because there's time travel and stuff involved. So it's a way more complex of a game. But I like time travel games, so I think it's cool the way they do it. Tears in time, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
So it's worth playing because it's definitely not the same game.
So maybe
as
I've
this.
already beaten it.
Maybe you have. You just
Ooh.
don't. You'll talk to yourself tomorrow
And let myself,
and let yourself know
it's
that
already
you.
complicated.
There's already a paradox.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do time travel. But yeah, I definitely recommend BioShock and BioShock Infinite. Check them out. And then you don't have to play a remaster version of Infinite. It's still just a regular game.
Yeah, exactly. By the time I get around to it, I'll play the remaster.
Yeah, play the remaster version, but it's definitely worth playing. You'll like it. What?
Number? I love this. I love this list. Are we certain this is the same list?
Yeah.
So number 5
I'm certain.
is Kevin's favorite game for the
Yes.
PS1, which is Vib Ribbon, and it looks
It
like a child's drawing.
looks like asteroids, but it's a kite.
There's
Um,
I got nothing, folks. I got absolutely nothing, but I can tell you.
Oh, it was never released in the U.S.
Oh, so this is the rest of the world is laughing at us now. They're like, this game is the shit, and you
Yes.
dumb Americans do not get to play it.
Yeah, no, Vib ribbon for you.
I got nothing, folks. All I can say is, if you live in America and you are unfamiliar with the Vib ribbon craze, I think we're okay missing this one, guys.
Do you think this is better without playing it than GoldenEye?
Absolutely, positively certain that GoldenEye is a superior game. I have no doubt about this.
Oh,
Jesus. So,
Okay.
number 4,
Oh,
thank God we both played it.
yes.
And that would be, and hopefully you have too, because I agree, you have to play this game before you die. You have to play Pac-Man.
Yes, pack number 4. It is. I hear that there is an actual pattern you can play the game
And just win every time?
and win every time.
That's
There is a
neat.
pattern that, but I never found it.
I have no idea what it is. It's definitely not what I do. But I have to say with this one, I'm going to make an argument right now. It's going to be hard to beat this one. It's going to be hard for 3, 2, and 1 here because I would fully agree. I might give Pac-Man number 1. You got to play one game before you die.
Yeah.
Play Pac-Man.
It's interesting. You know, it
could
was
do a lot
originally
worse.
it was originally called Puckman,
I did know that.
and they didn't want to vandalize people vandalizing the cabinets with an F word.
Absolutely.
So that's a shame.
Because then years later you'd have a show where a guy cursed all the time. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
So and I since learned as years go by that each ghost had a different purpose. One always chased you. One always tried to catch you off at the pass.
Oh, I did not know
Yeah,
this.
each ghost has a different path it takes.
I know some of their names, like Pinky, Blinky,
Inky.
Inky,
Yeah.
These.
But yeah, I looked. There is actually a chart you can get what each one actually. That's why you say it's always the red ones chasing you.
Okay, that's
And
interesting.
yeah, so each one has a slightly different path.
And, push comes to shove, actually, this is weird. I'd make Pac-Man number 2. You know what I'd make number 1? Miss Pac-Man. I always liked it better.
Yeah, I liked some of the elements better. Yeah,
Different, it had different maps, too.
different maps, and you can go different places off the screen
Mm-hmm.
and different maps. So yeah, I did like Ms. Pac-Man. I did like it.
So number 3, though, better than Pac-Man. Before you die, folks, you need to play Dino Crisis for the PS1.
Well, I've never played it, but I imagine machine guns and dinosaurs would be a good time.
I will say theoretically, because I too have never played it, but
Yeah.
theoretically they got a chance of being better than GoldenEye. I mean, you drive a hard bargain with dinosaurs and machine guns.
Yeah, I love dinosaurs. That's why I like Horizon Zero Dawn, but that's not going to be on this list.
Well, we got 2 more entries, but yeah, again, if we don't know much about it, but it basically says Resident Evil crossed with Jurassic Park, and that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And
I like dinosaurs.
I gotta say, that sounds like a great fun time.
Yeah,
So,
I would play it.
Dino Crisis, yeah, give it a try.
Dino Crisis. Uh-oh.
Oh, Mega Drive. Now,
I
I gotta agree with this, and it sucks that I have to agree with this.
I know why.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
so number 2 is Mortal Kombat for the Mega Drive, the aka Genesis. And why do I like this version better than the Super Nintendo version, which actually looked better?
Because there was no blood. They Yeah, they kittied it for
They
you.
actually
Yeah.
took out Fatality too, a specific
Oh,
one
Fatality.
where
The Scorpion one?
it
Or
was
the
Sub-Zero.
Oh,
who ripped
Sub-Zeros.
their head off and their spine
That-
with it, and they
yes.
took that one out specifically. Now the rub though is this: with all fighting games in the Genesis had a big handicap. You actually had to get a different controller because the Genesis had 3 buttons.
Yeah.
And these games used, well, Mortal Kombat used 5, but Mortal Kombat used 5, Street Fighter used 6. So you either had to do this crazy thing where you hit select and it changed what the buttons did, which was nonsense. You couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You don't have the time to do that in a fighting game. Or you got a different controller.
Oh, that's why they, I never knew, but they did come out with a newer controller for the Genesis.
That had the
halfway
6
through,
buttons.
they had more buttons.
Yeah, it was because of the fighting games.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yep. So I had Mortal Kombat, the first one, for the SNES, and it was fantastic. But I would say, actually, I would put Mortal Kombat 2 above Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, okay.
I liked it more in every way. Just a much better game. More characters, more fatalities, friendships, babalities. You had lots of goofy stuff you could do. It was fun.
All right. Now let's take bets on the number 1 game that you have to play before you die.
I have no guess. After this list, do you have even a clue what it could be?
I'm assuming it's going to be Pingo Pongo.
Some game
from
we've
Japan.
Never heard before.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go with a Mario game.
Okay.
You gotta play Super Mario.
And again, I didn't look ahead of time. I have no idea what this is.
You have a guess?
If I was going to guess number 1 game before you play before you die, they're going to go old school probably. And they're probably going to go along the lines of, Asteroids or one of those games.
Okay.
Old. That's what I'm guessing.
All right.
They're going to go really old
Space
school.
Invaders?
Space Invaders. Yeah. Space Invaders. I could see them
I
picking
can see that. That's a good pick.
So, number 1 game that you should play before you die
Mario.
is not GoldenEye.
It's definitely not GoldenEye.
Oh!
I'm awesome.
Yeah,
Super
you
Mario
called it.
64.
Oh, and I have to say, it was a great game. It was one of the best Mario games, too.
Mario's just, it's the
Wow.
Nintendo franchise. They've got
Wow.
don't get me wrong, they're deceiving in a way because, I don't rage quit games. I rage quit Mario Kart. On a regular basis, I rage quit Mario Kart. It's Nintendo, and it's, I want to say, endearing and lovable, and everything's adorable. But make no mistake, you do die frequently.
Yeah, frequently, yeah.
And those adorable little monsters, they will kill you. So, but everybody loves Mario. How do you not?
Yes, and I would say I played this, and I said before, I played Mario Odyssey, and it seems like Super Mario 64 version 2.0.
Yeah.
It's very much the same feel, and same more, childlike sense of joy you get when you play it. You get to hop on things and do, go through these doorways, because there's doorways in the Odyssey. You go through the doorways of the stars. Just same in the new game.
I have to say,
very similar.
Out of this list, there were a lot of 64 games.
Yeah, it seems like if you're going to list the best game system to have to play all the games before you die, you get yourself a Nintendo 64.
You could do a lot worse, yeah. You really could. Here's the rub. I don't know if it's better than GoldenEye.
But that was a Nintendo 64, though.
It was a 64 game.
Yes.
But I don't know if I'd put that above GoldenEye.
Yeah, see, I would get less frustrated with this, so I think I would like this better than GoldenEye.
Overall, by and large, for people in general, I would agree.
Yes.
This would be more well-liked.
Yes.
But there's no question.
The princess is in a different castle.
Well, James Bond would definitely take out Mario. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe. Unless he jumped on his head in time.
This is great, and I do have a couple things actually to point out before we wrap here. So, first of all, guys, apologies. We've learned a valuable lesson. We've learned a lot of lessons on all these shows, but what we've learned on this one is that a top 100 list is not something you slip into the end of one of your episodes. As it turns out, it could be 3 episodes all by itself.
It is, yes. So it's more than 3 hours worth of talking about 100 games. So.
Exactly, yeah, and it went quick, and I do like this, though, so we will be doing more lists in the future, and if you didn't listen to yesterday's, or the previous podcast, rather, there is a competition, that challenge, if you will, for next week, and that is basically that Kevin and I need to establish 2 lists to have ready for our show next week, and that would be the top 10 games for us personally. You know, like
Yep.
what are the top 10 games for your life versus what the top 10 through mine, and then we're putting a twist on our top 10 list. We're going to do one. You can only play 10 games for the rest of your life. What are those games?
Yes.
And you know, I gotta admit, whatever I say, I wanna, especially with the 10 for the rest of my life, I want to say right now, I regret my decisions.
Yeah, but what are the over and under on whether we're going to be able to go through both lists in one episode?
That is a very good point you make.
Yes.
That is a very good point you make. But well, you know, as it turns out, these episodes last exactly as long as they last, so we may just have a long episode. But that being said, today is a very momentous occasion for us. So those of you that have been with us this whole time, I can't thank you enough, because this is already episode 10, my friend.
Numeral DS.
I mean, just unbelievable. We've, you know, this is a milestone for us. Obviously, we plan on doing many, many more, but we just can't believe how fast we got here and all the help we've had along the way. And on that note, I'd like to give a shout out, and this shout out's going to basically be somewhat misconstrued, but I'd like to give a shout out to my wife Mick for all the support she's given me during all this and everything she's doing. And I suspect listeners at home are like, oh, that's the sweetest thing ever, but the reality is she's never going to listen to us, so she's never going to know I said that, but nonetheless, I appreciate it. So that being said, any shout outs you'd like to give before we get into our next little thing here and wrap this up?
No, I'd like to just one more shout out to twobeardgaming.com. I will be sending you some emails.
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you for that list. And Kevin, how does the folks out there get in contact with us?
They can hit us up on our email, which is toot@tootcast.net. They can go to their website at tootcast.net, or they can tweet at us at tootcast.
Well, thank you, sir, as always. And this is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And that's the one other thing.
Good night.